The warm Pacific waters around the island of Lomani whispered ancient secrets. Among them drifted the legend of Broken Tooth, the shark god who guarded the vast coral reefs once. He was magnificent, his hide like polished obsidian, his rows of teeth gleaming like ivory daggers. But ages ago, defending the reef from a monstrous leviathan sent by jealous ocean spirits, he shattered his largest front tooth. The victory saved the coral, yet left him forever marked, a constant reminder of sacrifice. The people revered him, knowing his presence kept the balance. Though few claim to have truly seen him since the battle faded into myth, young Kai, however, felt the god's presence deeply. While others fished the shallows, Kai would free dive near the outer reef, mesmerized by the swirling fish and vibrant coral castles. Lately, though, a shadow had fallen over Kai's beloved underwater world. Patches of the coral, once bursting with electric blues and fiery oranges, were turning bone white and crumbling like chalk. Fish grew scarce, and a strange, unnatural silence hung in the water. It felt like the heart of the ocean was sick, and a heavy dread settled in Kai's own chest whenever he surfaced, gasping for air amidst the dying beauty. One twilight, driven by a desperate need to understand, Kai paddled further out than ever before, towards the deep water caves where Broken Tooth was said to dwell. The water grew colder, darker, just as doubt began to creep in. A massive shadow detached itself from the cliff face. It was Broken Tooth. He was immense, ancient power radiating from him. But Kai gasped not in fear, but in sorrow. The legendary shark moved slowly, laboriously. His great head hung low, and where the mighty Broken Tooth should have been, a jagged, infected wound pulsed with a sickly greenish light, leaking dark tendrils into the water. The god himself was though Broken Tooth turned a weary eye towards the small human. His voice, a deep vibration felt more than heard, resonated through Kai's bones. Child of the island, you see the truth. The poison festers not just in my jaw, but in the very soul of the reef. He explained how the Broken Tooth, once a symbol of protection, had become a gateway. The ancient leviathan's venom, trapped within the fracture for centuries, was finally seeping out, corrupted by the poisons humans now poured into the sea. The runoff, the plastics, the carelessness. His own divine strength was being consumed, fighting the infection from within, leaving the reef defenseless against the blight. Kai's heart hammered against his ribs, not from fear of the colossal being, but from the crushing weight of despair in the shark god's gaze. The vibrant world Kai loved was dying because of a wound that wouldn't heal, a wound poisoned by Kai's own kind tears, invisible in the salt water, stung Kai's eyes. Great Broken Tooth, Kai whispered, bubbles rising with the words, is there nothing that can be done? Can't the poison be drawn out? The shark god's immense tail fin stirred the water weakly. The source is deep within the shattered root, bound to the bone. To remove it would require removing the tooth itself, a pain no creature could endure. And the shock his great body shuddered, it might end me, and the reef with me. A fierce determination ignited within Kai, looking at the suffering god, guardian of everything beautiful beneath the waves, and thinking of the bleached, dying coral. Kai knew inaction meant certain death for both. Let me try, Kai pleaded, swimming closer, ignoring every instinct, screaming to flee. Let me pull the tooth, please. If the reef dies, we all die. If you die fighting it alone, the reef dies too. This pain may be €s meant to be shared. Broken Tooth regarded the small human with ancient, sorrowful eyes. He saw not recklessness, but pure, desperate courage. A low rumble, like distant thunder, echoed, your heart burns bright, child. Very well, but know this, the touch of the corruption will burn you. Taking a deep breath, Kai reached out. The water around the infected tooth felt unnaturally hot and thick. Kai's small hands closed around the massive, jagged base of the Broken Tooth, embedded deep in the gum. The moment Kai touched it, a searing pain, like fire and ice combined, shot up Kai's arms. A sickly green glow pulsed from the wound, stinging Kai's skin. Broken Tooth roared, a sound that shook the ocean floor, sending shockwaves through the water. Kai held on, gritting teeth, pulling with all his might, pouring every ounce of love for the reef, every plea for its survival, into the effort. With a terrible, grinding crack that echoed like a cliff collapsing, The massive, infected tooth came free. Kai tumbled back, clutching the huge, poisoned fang, arms throbbing with phantom fire. Broken Tooth convulsed. A cloud of dark, viscous blood blooming around him. Kai's heart stopped. Had it been too much? But then, a pure, radiant light began to emanate from the gaping wound in the shark god's jaw. The sickly green corruption hissed and dissolved like smoke in sunlight. The light spread outwards in shimmering waves, washing over the bleached coral where it touched. Color exploded back to life. Vibrant pinks, deep purples, brilliant yellows. Polyps opened. Fish darted back into rejuvenated crevices. The very water seemed to sigh with relief, clearing, warming back to its healthy hue. The immense shark god slowly righted himself. The wound in his jaw was healing before Kaiuro's eyes, sealing over with smooth, dark skin. Though the space remained, it no longer looked like a wound, but a mark of honor, clean and strong. Broken Tooth nudged Kai gently with his massive snout. His voice, clearer and stronger now, resonated with profound gratitude and renewed power. You bore the pain I could not endure alone. Child, you shared the burden and saved us all. The reef lives I live. Remember this. True guardianship is born not just of strength, but of shared courage and compassion. The sea remembers kindness. As Kai floated, exhausted but filled with indescribable joy, watching the reef pulse with life under the moon's path through the water, Broken Tooth slowly circled once, a silent, eternal promise, before gliding back into the deep, a majestic shadow once more guarding the heart of the living ocean. Kai held the now cleansed, smooth ivory tooth, no longer a source of poison, but a symbol of hope and the unbreakable bond between all who love the sea.